So guys, we are now moving into November and it is not going to be long until we see hundreds and thousands of new Model Ys roaming around the streets. But until then, let's take a look at what's new and the latest updates we can get from this new vehicle. Now at this point, we have pretty much covered all the details of this car, what we can expect on the exterior, on the interior, and all the features and add-ons coming directly from other models. But one thing we didn't cover is the overall logistics of deliveries and when we can expect it for certain countries. Going off of the previous Model Y timelines, we have seen deliveries prioritized by the countries that have the most demand, being the US and China, then trickle its way down to the closest neighboring countries. This eventually led to the larger export markets being surrounding countries within Europe coming directly from Giga Shanghai, and countries in North America coming directly from the Giga Fremont factory. And finally, to end the process, they begin shipment and deliveries to right-hand drive countries such as Australia, New Zealand, and the UK. Now, while there wasn't a specific time frame between those events, the periods range between 2 months to 6 months before each market was made available. So to summarize all of this, during the initial days of the Model Y ramp, the timing was based off of the location of where you're taking delivery as well as the driving orientation of your country. And if you were based anywhere outside of the US and China, you were expected to wait at least a couple more months before receiving your car. But with that being said, the production ramp has changed quite drastically over the last few years, and now with Giga Shanghai building excess amount of vehicles as well as right-hand drive vehicles to export to countries such as Australia. A good example of this would be the recent launch of the new Model 3, where orders of the local variants were available shortly after the announcement, but not far off is the export models with right-hand drive coming a few days later. All of this was made possible due to the expansion of Giga Shanghai and its improvements on the production line, streamlining various components, reducing unnecessary bottlenecks. Added to all this, the Model Y has been redesigned to provide the easiest manufacturing process, simplifying multiple areas and making it possible to build a car from start to finish in under 1 minute. So then, seeing that this is the path moving forward, we can expect the Model Y to follow the same trajectory with multiple factories now online to push forward the new vehicle's ramp. All of this means that we can expect the new Model Y Juniper to be announced and available to order immediately from all mentioned countries, including right-hand drive markets. Now, unfortunately, looking at prior history, there is one thing left that Tesla needs to do, and that is to clear out their existing inventory, and there is only one place in the entire world that is willing to take in all of this, and that is the United States. With not enough competition in the US for potential EV owners to go anywhere else, this is the perfect grounds to offer older models with extreme discounts. Added in with the federal incentive, this is the best car that you can buy today. So being that this is the typical case, we can expect the exact same rollout procedures as the Model 3, with Juniper likely being announced later in 2025 for North America as inventory and parts begin to decrease. Alright, so good enough for the timeline. Let's go on to the latest updates on the Model Y and when we can expect this vehicle to be announced and what you should be doing if you're planning to pick one up very soon. Just earlier this week, a user on X shared a couple of images of what seems to be modified Model Ys with roof mounts sitting just outside of Giga Texas factory. These roof mounts have been used for various occasions ranging from ground truth validation, LiDAR, and other types of sensors. But the one thing that we don't see quite often, and it only comes just before product announcements, is the mono crane outfitting made to carry production video quality cameras and all of its accessories. Similar to what we had seen with the Model 3 Highland just before it was unveiled, there were multiple advertisements being filmed in various parts of the world, with one being in Valencia, Spain, where we saw the same attachment filming on the performance variants. So looking back at these images here in the recent week, we can see that all of this is taking place in a large lot just outside of Giga Texas, with 3 different Model Ys pre-configured for all of the attachments. Then in another image here captured by a user on X, we can see one of the vehicles right up close carrying the exact same crane with the shock absorbers and the cameras and all of its attachments. Now, basing this off of previous sightings closer to official dates, there has always been a trailing vehicle being an older model capturing all the videos and photos prior to the announcement, and this seems exactly what they are doing right before the Model Y arrives. Now, although this doesn't guarantee that this is the case, through process of elimination, we can tell that this is not used for ground truth, for LiDAR, or for any of the other sensors, as you can see that this is used as a production video camera quality vehicle. This is going to be shooting what is in front of it, and there is an entire setup with the crane right on top of the car if you've missed that. In addition to that, this makes a lot of sense as it is happening right at Giga Texas factory. As it is rolling off of the line, they can use these pre-production vehicles and start filming without driving on public roads for everyone to see. Speaking of that, just earlier this morning, sources directly within Giga Shanghai has confirmed that the very first batches of production vehicles are now rolling off of the line. These pilot production vehicles are going to primarily be used as test models, assembly lines, test drives, as well as testing performances. And after all this is done, this is when the mass marketed production models are going to be going off of the assembly line just in time for December. So yeah, I would say that we are about 1.5 months away before we get the true details coming out of the factories at Giga Berlin, at Giga Shanghai, as well as Texas and Fremont. This is when we're going to get an announcement, or we might just get it directly on the design studio for you guys to begin ordering. All of this is really a mystery as we are just purely basing it off of the previous Model Y unveiling. If all things line up and fall into place, I would say the third week of December is when we will be seeing the official version of the Model Y Juniper, and then everything else will come shortly after that. Deliveries would happen early 2025. But in either case, I will be keeping a close eye on everything that comes up, so definitely stick around and hit that subscribe button, that bell notification, as well as following me on X at HeyJohnE. Over there, you guys can chat with me, DM me, and I will respond as quickly as possible. This should be it for this one. I hope you guys enjoyed it. This is John once again. Peace out.